All right, we are back.
Yes, we are here.
I just had to do it the old school way. And I'm not going to lie, I watch a lot of YouTube, so I wanted to do it the new school way.
Yeah.
But
we're here.
Working out the bugs. We're here. So we're going to be in the spirit of gratefulness that, we're still here.
Yeah.
We're still here. We're still being positive black men doing positive black things,
Yes.
for the culture. We're doing this for the culture.
Yeah.
So, John, back to tell people what it is that you do so
Okay.
that they know what you do, and then we'll go and jump back into it.
I am a licensed professional counselor with Mainspring Counseling and Training Services, where we help individuals, couples, businesses find their mainspring. And by definition, mainspring is about helping you find that thing that maintains a process or change, but helping you find that thing. So what's your motivation? Yeah.
Right. Yes. So what is your mainspring? So, John, we were talking earlier about everything that's going on. One of the things that's hurting my heart, I'm not going to lie to you, and very near and dear to me is the evictions that are going on.
Oh.
I'll be honest. When I saw in Houston that people were being put into the streets, grabbing all the little things that they had, the things that they could carry in their arms. One man was putting what he could into his kid's stroller because apparently they didn't even get a TV. And the reporter was just kind of there being like stoic. I hurt in tears.
Yeah.
And the truth is, people are going through it, not just seeing that, because it's triggering, like you talked about for you, but triggering for so many other people, who are at the brink of just at the end of their rope. So what do you think is what do we offer folks who are seeing this being triggered?
I don't know if I have the best advice, or as you would say, a silver bullet. From me, from my heart, from my practice, I like to tell people to tell the truth. And I think when we tell the truth about whatever we are experiencing in the moment, it helps us let go of unrealistic expectations. And the fact of the matter is, Wesley, whether it is evictions or whether it's the racial tension that we're seeing in our country, whether it's politics, there is no getting back to a normal. We have to accept that we are in a new space now. And that new space requires us sometime every day. Sometimes every hour or every minute to make adjustments. And when I accepted that truth for myself, and maybe you have too, it allows us to make a change or a shift to say, I have to be adaptable. I have to be malleable, because getting back to what it used to be, that no longer exists. That's not even a realistic plan at this point. Would you agree with me?
I want to remain optimistic, John. I want to remain optimistic because I want to remain optimistic for my patients. I want to say, that this too shall pass. The Great Depression passed. All of those things passed. And we got to a better place.
Sure.
So that normal may be even in something better.
But see, do you hear what you just said? The normalcy that you have, I think is ingrained in me back from my grandmother. Yes, when someone says to me, this too shall pass, that is my normalcy. Because I believe what my grandmother is saying, if she looked over her life, God only knows what she had to go through. But what she knows in her heart is that one day this too shall pass. And it's in knowing that I'm not being attached to how it used to be, but I'm looking forward. And I think that is the optimism. I look forward to the moment that this will pass. And whatever it is, as my grandmother would say, all is well.
Okay. So
He said,
so our president now has COVID. Diagnosed with COVID, and the first lady diagnosed with COVID. Over 200,000 dead, 200,000 Americans dead worldwide, that number topping 1 million. It's a scary time because, again, here in Atlanta, we're here in Atlanta. We've been reopened for quite some time now. And we're finally seeing numbers go down, which is amazing. I'm incredibly happy to see that. But we still are seeing a bit of these stories. Do you think And I don't want to downplay because I don't want any problems.
Okay.
I don't want to say
we don't want problems. I don't even know what you're about to say. Wait a minute.
I just wanted to preface. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I think that you're giving us one part and saying numbers are going down, but then you're really scaring so many people.
Yeah,
like people are afraid. Like, so you have like from all different spectrums, right? You got folks who are like getting on planes, full body suits, like everything, and then you got people who are like, I'm living my life, I'm living my best life, you know, regardless.
I mean, because that's their business, right?
So what do you? So people are conflicted because in the one sense, you know, you got Susie Q, who's like really like anxious and nervous and taking all these precautions, and then you got our president who said, you know what, face masks really aren't required, and now he has it, and you got people living their best life. Like people are scared, like, and they're looking for like some sense of ease and calm,
something to be grounded in, right?
To keep from going through it.
And what's the question? Are you asking me what do I say to people, or what do I say to myself? Let me start with me, because
I love
even
that
though
transparency.
I am a therapist and I am in the position of advice giving and facilitating, it becomes real for me if I talk about it from a space of who I am. And yes, Wesley, everything you just said, I felt my anxiety rise. Like I really can feel that energy. And every morning I wake up, I feel that. Like sometimes I don't even want to get out the bed. But what I sit back and do is say, if I'm going to give my energy to all of that and what's happening, Jon, first, let's think about, what are you saying to you? What are the thoughts? What is your narrative and what is your story? And when I think about it from that position, I say to myself, first, thank you. I'm just thankful that I got this far in life and I'm at a point to see this moment. And then the next part of that, I think about, man, you've really overcome. Like you really did it. like you're here. And so when I sit and I think about that moment, it gives me balance, because yes, I'm seeing the news, I'm seeing social media. But at the same time, I'm hearing my story of triumph and resilience. And that's the space that I try. And notice I say try. It's a practice, Wesley. Like this isn't like I just put this hat on and roll out the door. No, that's not how it happens. It's a consistent practice and reminder to myself. And that is why I talk about this thing about being kind, because that's kind to me. And to give my attention to what's in the news, because I need to be in the know. I need to be present with my clients. But I also need to be present with what my narrative is saying to me. And if a part of your story, the people who are seeing this, if there's a part of your story that says, yeah, baby girl, yes, my brother, you made it and you survived, give yourself a little bit of that story as well, because that is what will help push you forward. That is what I call your mainspring. That is the thing that will help you maintain and sustain you through this process and change. Okay, time out. I'm timing myself out. Let me cut my mic off.
You just said like a word. You just said a word there, because I mean grace. So being graceful with self.
Yes.
Being offering yourself a bit of grace. So that grace, that same grace that you offer everybody else, and kindness that you offer everybody else, is sometimes something that you need to offer yourself, which is what I love about your message.
Thank you.
That you're like really grounded.
Did you see how excited I got?
Right.
Like that was real.
Right.
All right, go ahead. All right.
So yes. So talking to positive self-talk, being kind, thoughtful, being in the present. We talked about being in the present, but when we didn't have any sound going out, and now that I sit here, I'll be honest, I realized I took the thing out that actually sends the sound to that box.
You just realizing it right now?
I just
right now in this moment. That's okay.
I needed, you know, I just realized that because the headphones needed a plug to go into. And I was like, I'm not using this box right now. And then I took it out.
Pulled it out. It's okay.
Hey, life happens, you know, life happens. I'm old and I'm over the age of 40. And so what we are seeing,
I think what you just demonstrated, Wesley, is how often are we unplugged? and it's just so simple to get plugged back in, right? Like a lot of times we just move through life and we not realizing, dang, I unplugged from my source. And when you're unplugged from whatever that source of positivity is, you literally cannot hear it and you get stuck in the noise. But what I appreciate about you in this moment is when it came to your remembrance, you just recognize it. You just say, hey, I was unplugged. I know what the solution is going forward. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna stay there and belabor it because that's your business.
Right. Well, I mean, that's a great thing you talked about. You talk about like ruminations, like the usefulness and the problems with ruminations. Sitting here.
Wait. Break that down for them now. Right. Ruminations. Give it to them. Break that down.
So ruminations is the idea of like. So you have like this negative thought that's going on in your head,
but it keeps repeating in it and living it.
And so you're ruminating about it, and sometimes it may not just be stuck in that one place. But again, like one of the things I talk with my patients about is ruminating in the what if. Well, what if this happens? But like, haven't you been here before? Haven't you been behind the 8 ball when things got tough and you overcame it? Yeah, but what if this time is different? Well, what if this time is different? Things haven't always looked the same, but I don't know that this time will be. This may be the time.
Right. Like I want to believe it, but I'm not really sure if I can believe it. Right, I got you. And I think you just demonstrated, and I hope people go back and see that moment when it came into your conscious that was my solution. Gosh, man, I messed up. And then keep moving. And I think that's my message that I'm sharing and that I'm trying to show the people through you today. Keep moving. It happened. It hurt. Whatever it was, it brought angst, anxiety. But now that you know, move forward. And if you can't move forward, because sometimes I just get stuck if I'm telling the truth. But then at least be willing to give yourself the permission to do it or the choice to do it. And for me, that sounds like, hey, I don't want to move right now. I got the option to move, but I'm in my feelings right now, and I just want to stay right here. And so that is my permission or my choice that I give to myself.
Okay, so we have a question from the.
We do.
We have a question from our audience. What's up, Mr. Producer?
Saying?
Talk to us.
How do you overcome the what if?
How do you overcome the what if?
Okay.
Oh, so you want to talk about it? You want to
you jump in and let's work together.
So again, one of the important things is looking at what if what does it create? Does it create fear? Does it create anxiety? Does it make you sad? Does it make you angry? And rate that, because sometimes, let's be honest, a sense of the what if is also a sense of reflection. So there's nothing wrong with reflection, but if it causes you pain, if it causes you anger, anxiety, nervousness, then that's something that you want to look at decreasing. Again, by saying, again, where am I today? Being operating from gratefulness is one. The ability also say to yourself, mindfulness, I'm present, I'm here. Let me be grateful. I'm here right now.
And I get this. I think that's a little bit of thought interruption. That's a little bit of framing, right? From the CBT perspective, thought interruption, reframing. I think it's first being aware of it, right? That the what ifs are happening. So calling it out. The what ifs are happening, and then there's other things that I can do. And some of those things are positive self-talk. What are the possibilities? You can even write them out, right? And decide from that checklist what you want to do. Now, on my side of things, I got a different perspective on it. I ask my clients, how does the what if serve you? And what value does it have? I believe people don't keep things around them that they don't value. For example, I have a junk drawer in my kitchen, or I don't have a garage, but maybe people keep things out in the garage that they don't use, right? It's because it doesn't have a use in the moment, or maybe it's not serving them. But I believe if we asked a few follow-up questions to this person who sent that question, I would ask, tell me, how does practicing or hearing what if, how does it serve you?
But the truth is, we got our patients are smart, our clients are smart. They'll say, you know what, it makes me prepared for the next thing. I don't want to become too comfortable. I've heard that. I've heard had patients and clients say, you know what, I feel like that I'm prepared for the worst. And if I'm prepared for the worst, when the worst happens, I'm not surprised. And I'll be honest, I tell them, it's still going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
It's still going to hurt. So
Yeah.
you're hurting yourself right now in this moment
Yeah.
to prepare for something that you're still going to be hurt by.
This is true. And I get it. We want to stay prepared, right?
It's like I'm preparing myself for, say, for Big Mama to die.
Oh,
and how do you
gosh.
prepare? She's sick and blah blah blah. So I'm just getting ready, and they're calling it. But when Big Mama dies, you're still gonna be. There's still gonna be pain. There's still gonna be hurt. So you staying stuck in this.
Yeah.
You're stuck in this really painful thought and these really hurtful ruminations.
Yeah.
Is not going to help you by
Yeah.
by saying, "Oh, I'm going to be prepared to be strong for everybody else." You're still going to be weak. You're
Yeah.
still going to be hurt. You're still going to go through grief.
Yeah, yeah. I get that. And I think what we're demonstrating is when you have two great therapists, we have the right, and through our experience, there's more than one way to practice. And I
Yes.
think that's the beautiful thing about this moment. We have one situation here, and we're both sharing how we both would work with this client.
Right.
From my perspective of it, I would ask, how does that what if serve you? What value does it have? And I would ask with kindness and say, well, what would happen if we don't judge that anymore? Like, let's not judge the what if process, because if you're doing it, it has value, and in some way it's protecting, it's serving, or it's keeping you safe by doing that. But I wonder if you would allow yourself to listen to another narrative. Like, there's another truth here. And all of those experiences that you have with Big Mama, you can take inventory in that moment and ask, well, if Big Mama saw me right now, what would she ask of me to do in this moment? If we knew that Big Mama was passing, and she would say, baby, I know you're hurting right now. I'm just going to give a little light to it. I believe my grandmother would say to me, baby, I know your heart is hurting, but I want you to reflect on all the good times that we had together and be mindful of not just this one moment. Don't decrease Big Mama's life just to this one moment of illness or sickness. Remember all 93 of my years, grandbaby. And so when I think about it that way, I can allow the what if to exist, but I can also allow grace in the moment to reflect on the abundance of love and memories that I have. And so I start from that place of truth to have the what if, but also the reflection of a memory, and allow both of those things to maneuver. Does that make sense?
It makes incredible sense. I mean, as a therapist, I appreciate it, because of course for me it's like present. What's the present? Big Mama is here, and I'm gonna make use of this time right now. As opposed to thinking about the future. So fortune telling is problematic in our realm. In the realm of CBT. But in your world, that's in terms of, again, going to kindness and grace and being thoughtful about other stuff. Who is Big Mama to you? What does she do? Is definitely decreases, again, that anxiety and that fear. So I mean, we had such a great time. I hate that we're just on Facebook. This is the old faithful. Is I just used to stream to just Facebook groups, and so this is the old way of doing things. So I hate that this message isn't gonna go but so far.
It's okay, but we made it work.
We made it work.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to everyone who's out there listening today, and also thank all the people who have supported Mainspring in the past, and shout out to the new providers that have joined the team.
Yes.
Please check us out at Mainspring CTS and see all of our happenings.
Right. Thank you so much, Jon, for coming in today. It's great to always have you in the studio for this conversation, and we will hopefully see you all next Friday. Okay, you may be back next Friday, right?
Be kind to you.